Hello Virgo, thank you for coming back. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new, thank you for joining me. I do wish you a very happy 2020. This is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, but it can also be something that you're seeing in somebody else's life that you're close to at this time. So, it could be more than one person. It could be your significant other or just somebody that you're close to at this time. If you have a strong influence in your birth chart associated with another sign, something that you find is influential for you, whether it's where your Venus is, or if you have a very strong sort of amount of planets in one particular house or one particular sign, there's lots of different ways that this can manifest. But if there's an overall influence which you tend to read up on, then you can cross-watch to my other videos and see what may resonate with you and just get more information. I have shuffled and laid out the cards. So as the cards are appearing in the 12 houses of the zodiac, then those are the influences that are coming in for you at this time. So bottom of the deck is a Grand Cross Provoker. So this is quite a tough card coming in for you. So I feel there are going to be aspects of this coming through in the month of Jan. So, you can see, or beyond in fact, but I'm reading this for January particularly. So the aspects of this could be coming in for you. It is quite a tough, sort of stressful aspect to be having because what it does is it puts you under a lot of pressure from basically different angles. And these are opposing angles. So they create a lot of stress and a lot of tension and pressure all at once. So it's multiple pressures at once. But basically the overall theme from this card is basically overcoming pressures which are coming at you from all sides. So through this process, what you're doing is you're actually building inner strength. You build, you through growth. Through growth, you will actually, you build the stamina up, and you will come out much better on the other side. So it's basically consolidation of what is going on around you. Timing is important, and then endurance through all these limitations or stresses or hard angles that you may be enduring at this time. So obviously, there are going to be days where it's fine and you're coping, and then other days where you're going to notice it. So you're basically also going to have to use all your talents and all your abilities to actually juggle and find balance through this process. So just take that as a sort of an overall guideline. Then in the first house, we have Aries I Am. So your first house is the house of yourself, your physical body, your appearance, your personality, your characteristics, your vitality, and your life force. It's also how you're making your way in the world. So it's your day-to-day outward projections, what people are picking up, what you're projecting outwards, and it can be attitudes and mindsets and so on as well. But it's your general demeanor. So now with Aries I Am, there's going to be sort of fast-paced activities going on. You're going to be stirred into action in some way. So it could even be a self-oriented interest of yours, or you're just busy. But you're going to be stirred into action in some way. It could also be that you are in a partnership, or you've met somebody and you're having a really passionate romance or a very passionate relationship right now, and you're feeling stirred, and you're really enjoying all of the aspects of that. So it's got a very enthusiastic, trailblazing energy to it. It's like a fire has been lit, so something has stirred you up. It's also bringing in new energy. So, but the other aspects of this can also be, because it's a Aries, which is a warrior energy, it's ruled by Mars, you could be having to deal with a challenge of some kind at this time. So you may have to compete in something, or you could be fighting off something, or you could just be, putting your cards on the table and being very truthful about something. But it's you interacting with others and you making your way in your world. So it's something that you're doing, or you may, as I said, you may have to compete, or you're going to be facing a challenge. It can also indicate that you're moving ahead now, that you've got the energy to move you forward, forging forward. With this energy, it can get a bit wild and impulsive and go off at the deep end, or be a rash behavior. The best outcome for this card is disciplined and measured action. So think about what it is you want to do. Yes, you've got the energy. Yes, you've got the drive now. So funnel it and channel it correctly into a disciplined and measured action, and that will bring you the best results. You could also be having a few ego issues, or you could be dealing with somebody else who's got ego issues. Just avoid any quick temper, arguments, or any rash action or impatience. As I said, disciplined and measured action. You may also be required to cooperate with others at this time. In fact, that's going to be the best way forward right now. Then in the second house, we have Capricorn IUs. So your second house is your house of income, the money that's coming in for you. And it's the house of your self-worth, and it's the house of your value systems and your all forms of ownership, whatever you own and possess. And it's also it can relate to real estate, property, land, anything like that. So with Capricorn, I use this as a building card. So it's also about being practical and being resourceful at this time. So you may have to put systems in place for certain things. You may have to be systematic about how you go about things. But it's harness all opportunities, really. Make the best use of what you have. That is the ultimate of Capricorn, making the best use of everything. So this is where the resourcefulness comes in. It can also be making the best use of your contacts, or the best use of your personality, your traits, your inner self, your self-worth. All of this comes in, and also what you value. So you may be wanting to really build your money, build your self-worth, or build your values and your possessions at this time. But with this card, it's a slow-moving energy. It's not going to be a quick fix. This is a climbing energy, but it signifies ambition. Goal setting is very important right now. Do not give up on anything that you're starting. It's about being determined. You may have to adopt a youthful outlook or mindset at this time. So take wisdom from the past and then apply it, but keep moving forward. Don't live in the past, okay? You could be making really good contacts at this time. You could be starting a business, but it's asking you to dream big. Dream big and go for it. But just bear in mind that, the progress is slow. It's a slow climbing energy, building one brick on top of the other. If you're involved in any kind of legal issue, Capricorn sometimes can bring that in. You can expect a fair outcome at this time. Then in the third house, we have lunar eclipse change. Third house is your house of communication. So this is written, verbal, body language, even anything online. It's also specific people in your environment. It can be anybody. It can also be large audiences or groups or other people around you, but it can also be specific family members. So this is aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and general relatives, and also neighbors can come in with this. So it also, as I said, can rule documents and contracts, because that's written. These are written. So all forms of communication is very important. So now with this lunar eclipse card coming in, there's going to be changes coming in for you in some way. And this is generally to do with your expression, or receiving news, or giving news, or speaking outward about something, or expressing yourself in some way, whether this is online or one-on-one, or to, however you're expressing yourself in some way. But it's also about contractual and documental situations that are going on at the moment. So whatever these changes are coming in for you, it's going to be abrupt. It's inevitable, and it's essential as well to move you forward. So whatever comes for you, you may or may not be expecting it. When we say that, it means that it could be something that was sort of lurking. It was something that was under the surface. You were aware of it, but you weren't aware of the full shape of it. You just weren't 100% sure. You never got to deal with it, but it was there. And now all of a sudden it comes up, and the speed and the drama that it brings can take you by surprise. Or it could just be some unexpected shift and change going on. But it's inevitable, it's an essential, and it will move you forward. So you may just feel, once the upheaval is upon you, you're going to be feeling out of your comfort zone until you find your way. So it's going to be uncomfortable, all right? It could also be that news coming in that is going to shake you in some way, or something you're going to express is going to shake the ground around you with others. So just be aware of that. As I said, it could be some unknown thing coming in to do with a document or a contract, but it's abrupt, it's unexpected, or it's a bubbling over. It's swift. It can also be simply just a new outlook or a perception or a new direction for you. But the process that you go through to get there will be an upheaval of some kind. Usually, because it's cyclical, usually 6 weeks to 6 months it will unfold. Then in the fourth house, we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. So this card is quite a dark card. It kind of deals with the darker feminine, but it's also darker emotions, the harboring of darker emotions. So now this is coming up for you in your house of home and family. So that's your physical home, the relationships in your home, and the atmosphere in your home, but also your relationship with your family, your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, all of that. So where you came from. So there could be issues, undercurrents going on there. Perhaps you're staying with family over this sort of holiday period and it's uncomfortable, or there are things going on, or things are not being said. These things do happen when families get together, or it can get a bit tricky. So it's really just saying, just be careful at this time, because if you utter something in anger, or some other if it's coming from some other darker emotion, you could really undo a lot of good work that you've already laid, or undo things that you've been working hard at for a long period of time. So it could just all be undone in one swift move. So find a healthy outlet for any darker emotions. So this is things like, sort of rebellion, or just getting absolutely fed up with a situation, and just going for it, and it may not be the right thing to be doing, or it could be anger or jealousy, or pride or envy, or just being overlooked in some way, feeling bitter about being overlooked or not being chosen, or something of that nature. It could also just be bitchiness going on around you as well. Just seeing this either around you, or it could be in you, but you need to find a healthy outlet, or find a way to just circumvent it. If it's in the house and the home and it's with your other relationships going on, just extricate yourself from it and go and find some other activity to do to try and mitigate that, if that is what is happening. It can also be sort of unusual creative expression at this time. So creativity does come in with this card, but it's unconventional in some way. It could also be that you're waiting for something to happen in your home, in your family, something like you're waiting for something to happen, but the path and the circumstances are not clear right now. The facts are unknown, so you're unable to really make a decision, and there's things going on which you can't see, things that are happening under the surface that you can't quite see at this time. Then in the fifth house, we have Gemini, I think. So this is, again, another communication card coming in. Fifth house is your house of children, so either your children or the conception of children, anything to do with children, or it could be other children you're kind of around at this moment. It could also be, it's everything to do with your creativity, your creative expression. So this is something you use every day, every moment. It's not necessarily artistic, but it's creative. Or it could be your children's creativity that you're seeing this coming in. It's also the house of love affairs, and everything, all pleasurable activities around that. It's all kinds of activities and recreational activities, anything pleasurable, fun for you, whatever it may be. It can also be club activities like sports, and it can also be risk-taking like gambling, or busy with the stock exchange or something like that. So with Gemini, I think it's saying that basically communication is very important at this time in all of those aspects. The exchange of ideas, and it's also quick thinking, being curious about things going on. You may have to talk your way into or out of a situation. There could be explanation required at this time as well. You could be hearing news about something or hearing gossip. Just be careful with that. It could also be that you're in two minds about something, and you're indecisive about something in this house as well. What it's asking you to do is to pay attention. Don't get distracted. All right, pay attention to what is going on, so that you can make informed decisions. Research. Use your intellect. Use your analysis as well. Talk things through. Decide. But it's a very mental energy. You could also be learning new things in this house as well, because Gemini very much does rule learning of all kinds. It could also be that you're involved in publishing, or you will be going into publishing. This card can also bring in new technology. So you could be going from one type of technology that you have to another. So you could be upgrading, perhaps it's a camera or a laptop or a tablet or something that you're using in your environment which is getting an upgrade. So it's mastering of that, learning something new. You could be multitasking at this time in this house. It's also asking you to be versatile. Finish what you start, because sometimes with Gemini they're so scattered and there's got so much going on that they get distracted and they don't finish. So finish what you start. There could also be, if you've got activities that you want to do at this time, they need to be interesting and stimulating for you. So because you could get easily bored at this time with this energy. Then in the 6th house we have Grand Trine blessings. So 6th house is your house of work, workplace, work colleagues. It's also your daily routines, and it's also mastery of your craft. So it's not necessarily work, but something that you do. It's also the house of health and diet and lifestyle, and it's the house of pets. So with this Grand Trine blessings coming in, it's bringing in a lovely harmonious flow, and with it comes the blessings. So in this house, you can expect blocks that you may have been facing to be lifted. There's a good flow, there's harmony, there's blessings coming in. Just a feeling of contentment could be there for you. Good fortune. You could be lucky at this time as well, or you could be getting a breakthrough or a completion at this time. So with this card coming in, it brings this in for you, the opportunity for this, but you still have to work at it. You can't just sort of coast or become complacent. You've got to work at it to actually anchor the opportunities down for yourself. You really need to anchor them down, bring them home. So it's a kind of a working energy as well. It's a work in progress. You really have to harness the blessings that are coming for you at this time, because there may be quite a few and you've got to go for the ones that are really going to be beneficial for you. It's a good time to ask for an increase or some kind of finance in this house if that's required for you. So like a loan or finance, something like that. You're going to be well received at this time in this house, being well received. It's also artistic talents are going to be enhanced at this time. So if you've got artistic projects that you want to work on, it's a good time to be focusing on that, because this is going to bring in the flow and this lovely energy coming in. Then in the 7th house we have Neptune, sacrifice. 7th house is your house of your relationships, one-on-one personal relationships, or it could be, so that's a love partnership or somebody else that you're very close to at this time, or it could be a business partnership. There are legal aspects coming in on this house. It's the lower courts as well. So with this card coming in, I feel with everything that's going on, I feel that perhaps in your relationship you just need a bit of privacy. Either you need the privacy or you and your partner need some privacy at this time. Just to rest, to dream, to sleep, because there's quite a bit going on. It's a busy time of the year, and you could have been going through various things, and you just need some private time and just to rest and dream and sleep and sort of chill a little bit. You could be feeling a little bit vulnerable at this time, but it could also be that you are in the midst of a very inspirational relationship right now. That can also come in with Neptune. Neptune is about connecting with the divine. So there's imagination, there's artistic sort of aspects coming in. There's great compassion. You could also be asked to sacrifice for the greater good in some way. So possibly you're in a home situation, perhaps you're visiting family, and you don't get on with some of the family members in there, but you have to sacrifice a little bit for your partner to keep things smooth and balanced until the holiday is over. It could be that kind of energy coming in. Whatever it is, though, with Neptune, because of the divine aspects to it, you need to keep your feet on the ground during this period. So keep your feet on the ground. Don't fall prey to sort of illusions and fantasies and sort of confusing times or confusion. Keep your feet on the ground. Be absolutely clear with everybody, and especially your partner. Because there may be a lack of clarity at this time. There could be some emotional game playing going on. There could be glamorous circumstances going on if you're in that sort of, in that world. This card can also bring in the film industry as well. So you may be involved with somebody who is in that profession. So there's a lot of glamour and a lot of illusion going on, which may affect your relationship right now. Water activities, especially indicated with this, a very nice thing for you and your partner to be doing. Then in the 8th house, we have Mars Force. So this is another fiery card coming in. Mars rules Aries, and you've already had the Aries card. So the 8th house is your house of finance, your big money, your sort of investments, inheritances, insurances, taxes, banking, accounting, assets, anything like that. It's also the house of shared emotional and material resources, and this is between you and your committed partner. So like in a marriage, or it can be in your business partnership. It's also the house of sexuality, and it's the house of endings and beginnings, and it's also a house of rebirth or renewal in some way. So you could be having a very nice rebirth or a renewal of something going on in this house. But it's going to bring in a challenge of some kind for you. Mars is our warrior energy. It's how we get things done. When Venus is what you love, and Mars is how you get it. Okay, so this is how you go for something. There's a sort of a going after action. You may need to, if you're dealing with somebody in this house who's a kind of a problem for you, or situation is a problem for you, you may need to confront or defend yourself in some way. So protect your assets or protect your interests. You could be feeling quite driven at this time. Perhaps you've got a project or something you want to do, or you are simply merging your resources with that of your partner. So go after what you want, pursue your goals. It could also just be that you are having, a lot of sexual activity at this time, or a very passionate relationship, and you're seeking the deeper meaning of that. That can come in with this as well. Because it's all about that. The 8th house is all about that, the deeper meaning of these things. Just avoid rushing or overreaction at this time with the Mars card. Then in the 9th house, we have Libra I balance. So the 9th house is your house of international travel, or anything foreign. Any kind of foreign interaction, or any kind of foreign learning, or foreign people, or foreign belief systems, or customs, or interactions, or transactions. It's also the house of adventure and exploration, whether this is while you're traveling, or whether it's through what you're learning, or just your daily life. So it's that lovely sense of adventure and exploration. It's also the house of higher learning. So this is university education, adult education. It's also the house of philosophy, religion, belief systems. And it's the house of publishing, teaching, and public relations of all kinds. It's the house of in-laws. So you may be dealing with them at this time. It's also the house of the law and the higher courts. Okay, so you could be wanting to study this, or you could be involved in a legal situation of some kind. So with all of that going on, it's also about faith and wisdom, which is where the religion and philosophy comes in, and belief systems. So the gaining of faith and wisdom. So now with this card coming in, it's a partnership card. Okay, Libra is all about balance, but it is very much a partnership card. So linking up with a partner is best at this time. So there's mutual support. All right. So in some way, shape, or form, this may be coming in for you in this house. So whether it's on an international trip you're taking, or whether it's to do with something else that you're busy with in this house, but pooling your resources, collaboration, You just need to ensure that both your needs and the other person's needs are met. So don't let your needs be put aside in favor of the other. Because this has legal aspects to it, you could be involved in negotiation or mediation of some kind, or it could be to do with something else in the ninth house. So always with this card, rules and fairness come in because of the scales. Okay, rules and fairness, legal matters or the law are covered here as well. This card can also symbolize that you may be needing to make a decision on something. You could be sitting on the fence over something in this ninth house. So a decision will need to be made. It could also be, because it's this is known as the partnership card, the relationship card. So weddings and engagements often come up with this. Either you're approaching this in yourself, or you are involved in it somehow with another, or you may be traveling to a wedding or to an engagement or something like that. So travel could be involved, or you could be going on some sort of romantic adventure at this time. You could be charming the in-laws, because Libra is all about charm and beauty, refinement, and so on. It could also be that you're visiting galleries, museums, artworks, going to live music. You could be involved in the beauty industry or exploring that for yourself. So going to the spas, enjoying facials or having your hair done, or just exploring that as an industry for yourself. So it's also an enhancement of all artistic and creative talents with this. They all fall under this card. Then in the 10th house, we have Sagittarius IC. 10th house is your house of career, fame, reputation, and your public status. And it's also the house of authority figures. So this could be somebody in your home, like a father or a mother, or it can be in where you're working, or just somebody else that is an authority figure, or it could be an authoritative institution like law enforcement or the military or something like that. So with the Sagittarius IC, it's a very expansive card. It's a lovely card to be having in the 10th house. A lucky break could be coming in for you, which came up before. So a lucky break may just be coming in, or you could be just about to make your mark with the arrow that comes with the Sagittarian symbol there. So it's like pulling back the bow of your arrow. The arrow from your bow. As you let it go, then you make your target. It can also be that you require freedom from your current routines. This is very strong energy with Sagittarius situation, where they love freedom. They don't like having set routines, set job times. They often will go for jobs or careers which allow them a lot of personal freedom. So whatever that may be for you, but it's just indicating that perhaps you need to change your routines to give you fresh energies. You bring fresh energy in, because from that may come a lucky break or a new idea or something like that. This is very much about adventure and exploration as well. So that's coming in for you. Maybe something to do with your career. Also the wild and animals and the outdoors, all of that is very much indicated. So somehow, even the wilderness, whether it's wildlife or the wilderness in general, maybe ticking all the boxes for you because of that lovely sense of adventure and exploration. This card is also about visions and idealism. It's a very creative card, as I said, outdoorsy. It's also brings in a fun element, so that must be important for you at this time. Perhaps it's a new, a career that you want to sort of look at. You need to bring all those elements in. It can also bring in the other aspects of religion, philosophy, books and publishing. So books, working in a bookstore or being in a bookstore, publishing, tutoring comes in with this as well, because of the teaching aspect. But it's about expansion. It's also risk-taking activities could come in for you. You could be visiting places of learning. So that's like universities and so on. Or you could be attending lectures. Legal matters may come in, but travel is also indicated with this card. Then in the 11th house, we have void, of course, moon missing. So your 11th house is really primarily about your friendships. And it's also about your personal hopes and dreams and wishes, your hobbies and interests, and also all group activities of all kinds across the board. So this can be like a club that you're a member of, or a society or association, or it could be global consciousness or group consciousness, social reform, which means a group of people moving together in one direction to do things. So it's got that wider aspect to it. But what it's saying to you, at this time is that whatever is going on in this house, just stay as you are for now. Don't be changing things or making new initiations or taking new actions. So no new actions or decisions at this time. This energy may last for about a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer. You'll just have to see how it goes for you. But you're basically going through a shadow period. Normally it's only a 2-day period when the moon changes from one sign to the other. But for you, it may play out a wee bit longer, sort of over a month or so, over a week or so. So just see how it works for you. But it's like a shadow period where things are not what they seem. And when you make an action or you make a decision and you follow up on with an action, the results, you either get a wrong result or you don't get any result at all. And it just leads to frustrations, delays, wasted time, effort, money. Just not the right thing, just doesn't work basically. So this is the time really to be resting and dreaming and planning. This has come up for you before, very good time to be doing that. So it's the pause period before you take action. It's a good time to do that. So just let matters settle. If there's stuff going on around you and things are happening, just let matters settle, they'll sort themselves out. It's not the right time for action in this house at the time. Any sort of meditation or spiritual work is fine because this is all pretty much internal. Don't lend money at this time. So a friend may approach you for that. Don't do that at this time because you probably won't see that money again. As I said, it brings wrong results or delays or frustrations, cancellations. You make the wrong choices, things like that, because there's a veil. You're in a shadow period. Okay, so just be aware of that. Then in the 12th house, we have Moon Soul. So the 12th house is your house of your unconscious, your drives and motivations. It's also the house of your spiritual life, your meditation, your healing, and where you go to reflect and withdraw. It's also the house of escapism and addictions of all kinds. It's the house of karmic lessons and sort of service to others. Service work to others, which could come in for you. So with Moon Soul, this is a very reflective feeling card coming in. So you could be really having deep love feelings at this time for your significant other or other people in your environment. It's about going with your feelings and intuitions at this time. So trust those 100%. Just rest and retreat when things get difficult. Rest and retreat comes up quite a lot in your charts. I feel this is going to be a big aspect for you during January. So when you have your action periods, it's fine, but in between you need to rest and retreat. Take time out. There could be high emotion going on, which is quite common at this time of the year. Cycles are happening, and you're very sensitive at this time to everything that's going on. You could be a bit moody. Your habits, take a look at those because they could be holding you back in some way, or perhaps you have something that you need to change, a habitual behavior. The mother, woman's wisdom and female issues come up very strongly with this card as well. So you could be interacting with a mother or a woman or a female in your environment. All those issues are coming up somehow around you. You could find that old situations that are just unresolved, they keep coming up. Things that should have been sorted out a long time ago may be recurring now. You could also be having a lot of memories about the past. Someone from the past may come back into your life at this time, so which can easily happen at this time of the year. This card can also bring in future fame, popularity and crowds, so that may be applicable for you. It can also bring in sort of cloudy circumstances where you just can't really make a decision right now. You're not sure about which way to go, or just general cloudiness. And this is why you need to consult your feelings and your intuitions in order to make your decisions. Okay, Virgo, hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. And have a great time, and take care, and I will see you next time.